I have the dentist from Livingston Family Dentistry, Dr. Ron and Dr. Blake Livingston. Good morning again, gentlemen.
Good
Good
morning.
morning. Good to see you.
Good to see
Good
you
to
as
see you.
always.
Good to
Always.
be
Good to
seen.
be
Sure.
seen. Better seen
Hey,
than viewed.
oh God. He said better seen than viewed. You know, it's funny. You come up with these things like at the end of your commercial.
Right.
Yeah, you come up with these little
Well,
quips.
you know what? We have a lot of seniors that we see every single day, and they have a lot of knowledge and jokes and wisdom, so it rubs off on you.
Yeah.
I'll come home and I'll tell my wife these things. She's like, "Where did you get that?" I said, "Oh, so and so in the office said it."
Yeah, yeah, they have. My mother always says the wind doesn't blow the same way all the
That's
time.
right. There's,
And when people have problems and worries, don't worry, those will eventually dissipate,
that's true. That's
or the
true.
way you deal with them dissipates.
So yours are nice and serious. I get a lot of silly ones sometimes from my mother. So she'll say like just because a cat was born in the oven don't make him a biscuit. Stuff like that. So
Uh, I don't even get that.
well, it's like
But,
people will say, "Well, I'm this and I'm that," and she'll say, "Just because a cat born in the oven don't make him a biscuit." So
well, it's funny because
just because they say it is not true.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, Livingston Family Dentistry is on Woodward, just near Buena Vista, or
Well,
what?
we're on Cottage Grove. We're just 2 blocks north of Davidson. We're right in the same block as the old Medical Arts building, right
Uh,
across the street from where Dixon's Bible Bookstore used to be.
Oh yeah, I remember when that was up. I remember when
Yeah,
Highland Appliance was up
I do
that
too.
way.
I still have an old stereo from Highland Appliance.
You do?
Yep, still works. It's a
Well,
Marantz.
yeah.
Yep.
They just go out of style, but they still work and
Well, they
all
were
of
made in
that.
America back then too, so
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
that's why it
That's
still
true.
works.
Well, last week we were talking about some kind of explosive things, a lot of things that were happening as far as our teeth are concerned. And once again, and we had some very interesting questions. And one of the questions that I thought about, and it was very important, and I mentioned this to someone that someone called and asked about whether or not once a dentist fixes your partials or plates or whatever, you try them on, see if they're right. If they're not right, you go to, they send them back or whatever they have to do. Do not leave the office unless your teeth are right. And sometimes people come back, they need an adjustment, but not major.
No, not usually. I mean, if we do 100 dentures, we may do 3 people might get an adjustment, and that's like a once, twice at the most. I mean, because here again we get back to sayings. You measure twice and cut once. So each step we want to verify that things are on point at each step, and that includes a try-in where everything is tried in by the patient before it's completed. Give them the mirror, leave the room, let them see it, let them explain. If you have any questions, any concerns, let us know before it's finished.
And minor adjustments, that's not abnormal.
No.
Right.
You've got something new, something that you haven't worn before, or that you've worn before previously, but this is a new set. The tissue underneath the denture has changed, underneath the partial has changed. Minor adjustments are normal. You might have some minor irritation, but that can be resolved very easily.
And that usually only occurs within the first few days or a week at the most. It's not like, a constant thing. But I say a lot of those things can be avoided by the steps that we take. First impression is we take an impression of your gums. People have had that done before in the bone. Then we do the bite. We record everything in wax and measure and record the color of the teeth and the gums. So each one of those steps, we make sure that we don't go to the next step until we make sure this step is the way we want it.
And you said before that the teeth and the whites of your eyes should match or something like
You
that.
don't want to go whiter than the whites of your gums.
Right,
It looks
right.
unnatural.
I've
Right.
seen people with really bright teeth.
Now, not that people don't want that or like that, but it doesn't look natural. Automatically people know, okay, those aren't real. Those are fake.
So and what you want is a natural appearance. So
We tell patients this all the time. We're going to make you a nice looking denture, but we don't want your friends and colleagues to say that's a nice denture.
we don't know. We want them to say, "Oh, we never knew you had dentures." So
Right.
Well, maybe you want them not to even notice you
yeah, well,
have
that's right,
Right.
dentures.
right.
Exactly.
But I mean,
Exactly.
sometimes we'll get patients that say, my sister came over and she saw me and she goes, "I never knew you had dentures." So that's what we like. That's the best compliment you can have.
But if you've been wearing the same denture for 20 years and we make you a new denture, people might notice it's a new denture just because something has been the same for so long.
What about those big ones? I mean, the big teeth, or maybe they're bonded or something like that. I mean, I've seen people get new teeth, or maybe they get something over the old teeth, and they just seem big.
Well, I mean, that's going to depend. I mean, some people, they had large natural teeth. So you're not going to go from large natural teeth to
Oh,
these
I've
little
seen
tiny
it.
little baby teeth
It
here.
be
You want to.
happening.
Well, I mean, it also too. It depends on what they had done, where they had it made, and that type of thing. A lot of we get patients and we'll we'll meet with them and we'll tell them what the cost for dentures is, and they'll go, "Oh, my friend had some made for $600." I was like, "Well, good luck with that." But
Wow,
you get what you pay for.
that's true.
It's a lot of cases. People think you can't drive a Cadillac and pay for a Volkswagen. It's not going to be the same. So that has some influence on it. So
I hear the new Cadillac or Lincoln, one of those, is
hmm
going to cost $100,000.
What? Wow. I know they're coming out with a new Lincoln Town Car. I hope that's not the one that's going to
It's
cost
beautiful
$100,000.
too.
Yeah, it looks nice.
It's beautiful. One of them, because they have two new ones.
how many
Cadillac.
bedrooms does that have? Because
I don't know.
that's
I
as much
don't
as a
know.
house.
It's amazing. So, as far as dentures are concerned, a lot of people are afraid to get them. And speaking of that, let's talk about Medicaid once more because a lot of people have Medicaid, and who can get dentures or dental work done who have Medicaid? Well, say if somebody has Medicaid, and like you say, your teeth have a lot to do with your overall health.
Correct.
What can they do?
Well,
Anything?
we don't take the Medicaid plan, straight Medicaid plan. We do take the Healthy Michigan plan under the Medicaid expansion, which is through Delta Dental Plan, and those plans like people who have Meridian, Total Health, Molina, Priority Health, Midwest. If they have Delta Dental Plan through Healthy Michigan, we take that plan. But in terms of the straight Medicaid, we refer those to those clinics that take Medicaid. And the reason we don't, I took it for 20 years. I did it for 20 years straight, and it just continued to go down and down and down in terms of the state taking care of it. It was 1 week, it was 1 month it would be good. Then the next month they take the people off, then they put them back on. It just got to be too much of a headache. So, but with the Medicaid expansion, with the Healthy Michigan plan, there's none of those issues occur.
The Healthy Michigan Plan, how do you get on that?
Healthy Michigan Plan is the Medicaid expansion, which is called in the state of Michigan. And to enroll in that, you can go to michigan.gov/MIBridges. And there's a phone number also, 1-855-789-5610, and that's to find out if you're eligible for Healthy Michigan Plan, and hopefully get you enrolled in Healthy Michigan Plan. You get much better options for medical, dental, and vision with that.
Oh, okay.
And with the dental, there is $0 copayment. So all your visits are free, all your procedures are free, dentures and partials are free, and it's very rare nowadays that anything is free.
It is. It is. Now, what you have here, this is a jawbone,
That's correct. That's a lower jaw.
lower jaw. Why do you have it here?
Oh, this is not a real lower jaw. This is a model of a lower
Yeah.
jaw. But we had it here to just kind of demonstrate. We also do implants.
What is an implant?
An implant is a little titanium screw-like device that we can place. I don't know if the camera can see, but it's really tiny.
It's
And-
like a little spring.
Yeah, and we can put that in, surgically place that into the jawbone, and it fuses to the bone and becomes a part of the bone. And then we can attach teeth, we can attach dentures, we can do one tooth, we can do all your teeth. And those are pretty
Wow.
much permanent. There's about a 98% success rate with those. We've been doing them for many years. And they're kind of on the expensive side to go through all that before we do anything like that. But those are options that a lot of patients are getting nowadays, especially patients who have lower dentures that don't fit. And that's I brought that lower model because when your jawbone wears away, you can't rest your denture on it
So
properly.
these holes on the side there.
The ones on the side, that's where the nerve, that's where the mental nerve is. This goes in on the top, where those little dots are there. We put them in like that.
And it's not a painful procedure. I see you making those faces.
Yeah,
over there.
yeah,
The
just-
jaw, the bone is not heavily innervated. Okay, there's a minute amount of innervation in the bone. Okay, I've placed implants on patients. Worst complaint is receiving a shot. Okay.
Well, so you do them one tooth at a time.
Well, it depends. You know, if we're replacing multiple teeth, usually if you're replacing a lot of teeth, you don't place a single implant for every tooth. You do either, for example, if we're doing a lower denture, here's an example of this. You place 2 implants in the lower jaw.
Okay, this is like a low. Okay, I see the implants
We
on
place
the.
2 implants and then we make a denture with 2 attachments on it so the denture snaps in.
Oh, I see the attachments underneath.
Yep. Now, if we were doing a single tooth replacement, that's the alternative for like a fixed bridge. Lots of people have those. That's the way that things used to be to replace a single tooth. Now, implants are now the standard of care for replacing a single tooth because to do a
Okay.
fixed bridge, you have to cut down the 2 teeth that are around the missing tooth area, and we don't want to cut on a tooth that doesn't need it.
Right.
Oh, okay. So, what if a person has a missing front tooth? You can replace that tooth
Correct.
Correct. We
With-
would replace that with a single implant.
with a single implant.
Yep.
Just like we,
like my dad was explaining, we place the implant into the bone. We let the bone grow around that implant, and then we place an abutment on top of that, which acts like the tooth structure. There you go, and then we put a crown on there, so it looks just like a natural tooth.
Wow.
And the important thing is that we didn't have to cut these 2 teeth down in order to put a tooth here. Back in the day, we would have had to cut those 2 teeth down, even good teeth, and then made you a 3-unit bridge that looks like that.
Oh.
So in order to replace this one tooth, we had to cut down these 2 teeth and attach that missing tooth to the 2 teeth that we had to change.
I think another important thing about the implant to note is that you'll be buried with that implant. Very good chance you'll be buried with that implant.
It'll
Because they last
they
so
last,
long?
Yes.
Yeah, they're really, and so you're not, and with this type of situation here, when we do a fixed bridge, these have a lifespan of maybe about 10 to 15 years. If you get any decay or any gum problems around these adjacent teeth, you're going to lose this whole segment here.
Really?
Yeah. And so we don't want to do that. And back in the day, we did that all the time. And a lot of times patients will still get that. But implants, in my opinion, are a way better option for something
That's
like
not just his opinion. That's scientifically proven fact by research that implants are a superior choice for replacement of missing teeth.
And it's getting to the point
As opposed to what?
A fixed bridge.
cutting the teeth down and doing it. And a lot of insurances are starting to cover that. We get a lot of patients. The husband has an insurance, the wife has, especially with the retiree plan now, where the patients have the insurance, the COBRA plan they already had that they paid for, and now they receive their retiree benefits back. So now they have 2 insurances. So that helps in covering the cost on a lot of these dentures and implants and other things, if implants are covered under their plan. Some plans cover it, some don't. But with the new restoration of with GM and Chrysler, retirees got their benefits back, dental and vision. It's made a big difference. A lot of people they're used to not having that because they took it away about 5 years ago.
Right.
But it came back January 1st, and it's what they had before, so they didn't lose anything. So it's time to use it because,
Well, let's talk about shifting teeth.
okay.
If you need a partial or something like that, your front teeth are cool, and you don't get it, can't your teeth start to shift?
Absolutely. Important thing to note is that if you're missing back teeth, they're the teeth that are supposed to do what I call the heavy lifting. Okay, your front teeth are meant to chop your food in half, and your back teeth are meant to grind up the food and make it into a digestible bolus, is what it's called. Okay, so something you can swallow. But if you're using your front teeth to do all that work, those front teeth are going to start to wiggle loose and start to spread. Okay, and eventually you will lose those front teeth because they're not meant to take all that stress. They're only a single rooted tooth, whereas a back tooth has multiple roots and is a wider tooth. And also things that cause teeth to shift: gum disease, which destroys the bone that supports the teeth.
And that's why I was going to ask you about that bone. Does it ever come to a point that you cannot help somebody because their bone is deteriorating?
Yeah, and when you have severe gum disease, when that bone level, this is actually a great model to show this on, actually. This white part surrounding the roots is the bone, okay? And when you have gum disease, that bone gets destroyed, and the level drops and drops and drops, and eventually it gets to the point where it can't support the tooth is loose, and the teeth have to be removed. Now, once the teeth are removed, the gum disease resolves because the source of the bacteria is gone, which is the pockets around the teeth where the teeth were in the bone. But once those teeth are removed, that issue goes away.
But if the tooth goes away due to bone loss and gum disease, now you will have a defect in the bone. Though instead of having a nice flat surface, you'll have areas that'll be ditched out and uneven because where that tooth used to be and the bone was destroyed, now there's a divot in that bone there. So when you try to place a denture on that, instead of having a nice flat surface, you have an area that goes up and down like that, which can be a little bit more difficult to take care of, but it's possible to do that. Now that gum disease you're talking about, and I know you've heard it, and I've heard it growing up. Patients used to call it pyorrhea. Yes.
Pyorrhea. Yeah.
That's the same thing. Gum disease, periodontal disease. That's pyorrhea. That's what we used to call it, but it's referred to now as periodontal disease or gum disease. But it's the same disease as pyorrhea as used to hear back in the day.
I know of people who deliberately had their front teeth pulled out because they just wanted some new teeth.
Now, they may have done that a long time ago, but I bet you they really regret that in the future.
Yeah.
Because an important thing to note is the only purpose of the jaw is to hold teeth. Okay, so when teeth
That's
are,
the only purpose
that's
of
the only purpose of the jaw is to hold teeth. So when
Wow.
teeth are removed, the jawbone shrinks. And it
goes
continues to shrink into perpetuity, forever. Okay? So when you have those teeth removed, especially if it's at a young age, that bone will continue to shrink to the point where it's up under your nose.
Really?
Yep.
Correct. Yep.
Now, lower jawbone shrinks faster than upper jawbone, which causes a problem for a lot of people if you had those teeth removed at a young age to wear a denture. If you had them removed when you're 30, by the time you're 50, you're going to have a lot of trouble wearing a denture, which is where implant-supported dentures come into play because it allows the denture something to attach to, whereas if the jawbone is worn down due to loss of bone, you're out of luck.
Right.
Okay?
And we see patients, and I've had this over a million times over the years, where we'll leave a patient with maybe two teeth on the bottom, two good, strong, solid, maybe eye teeth, and we'll make them a
What
partial.
are your eye teeth?
The eye teeth are your cuspids that are right under your eyes. So those teeth, canine teeth, dog teeth, as patients would like to say sometimes, those are your canine
The
teeth.
sharp, pointy ones.
The sharp pointy
right.
ones, right. Those are the ones that cut and tear meat and that type of thing. And we'll make them a partial. And the patient will just say, why'd you leave me with those two teeth? I'm going to lose them anyway, and all that kind of thing. And I say, yeah, but that means that you'll be able to, anything we can attach to your teeth is going to fit and be more comfortable, and you're going to function much better. So we can keep you away from a full
We have
plate.
a call.
Okay.
We have a call on line 2. Let me see. Good morning. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hi. Good
Hi,
morning.
Brenda. This is Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Good morning.
I got a question about tooth whitening. Do you advise tooth whitening, and if so, why? And if not, why? Because, but anyway, that's the question I have. And I'll listen. I'll hang up and listen to you.
Okay. That's an excellent question.
Tooth whitening, if you're interested in whitening your teeth, absolutely. No, there's no problem with doing that. Now, if you already have sensitive teeth, maybe something you want to consider not doing, but I recommend anybody who comes into my office and wants to do tooth whitening, I tell them try over the counter first, Crest White Strips or any of the other
Does that
brands.
work?
For some people it does, for some people it doesn't. Depends on the staining that they have. Some people have staining that is due to factors that were out of their control. Tetracycline staining is a common type of staining that causes dark staining on the teeth that isn't going to be able to be removed by over-the-counter whitening products. But a lot of people smoking cigarettes, coffee, Coca-Cola, red wine, those type of things stain the teeth, and those type of stains can be easily removed with over-the-counter whitening or professional whitening.
But people have to be careful because if you have, say, a partial like this and you whiten these teeth, the partial teeth don't change.
That's correct.
Partial,
You're on it.
I mean, it just makes sense.
Oh yeah,
because
right.
these
That's
aren't-
and also if you have crowns and some white fillings, it won't change the color of those. It only changes the color of the enamel, and that process consists of we would take a impression of your natural teeth and make what's called a whitening tray, which is very lightweight and comfortable, and then we would supply you with a bleaching gel that comes in a syringe, and you would place that gel into the whitening tray every day and wear that tray for about an hour a day for about 2 weeks. We usually tell patients while you're watching a TV show, it's going to be on an hour, put your tray in while you're sitting there, watch TV. When the show is over, you take it out. And after about 2 weeks, you'll see a significant improvement. I always tend to only do, say, the top teeth first so that patients can every day compare it to the bottom and they can see that whitening process. They get excited and they continue on with it. In the past, we used to do them both at the same time, and patients couldn't notice the whitening effect because they were both getting white at the same time and they couldn't tell. But when you do the top, and also too, I'd say about 75% of patients only get the top done anyway. So do the top if you like the
So,
top. Don't do the
how
bottom too much.
far do you go? How far do you go with this whitening? I mean,
That's
do you
a
keep
good-
it going?
Well,
Yes.
like we said, don't go beyond the whites of the eyes. You want to
I
try and
know.
keep it around that level. And a couple of really important things about whitening. Over-the-counter whitening may not have the anti-sensitivity ingredients that professional whitening gels do. Okay, so professional whitening gel, the kind that we have, has the same ingredients in it, but at a higher dosage of sensitivity toothpaste, like
So,
Sensodyne.
how long does it take? I mean,
To whiten,
yes.
we use an hour a day for about 2 weeks.
Oh, that's it?
Yep, and you'll see a dramatic difference for most people. Another important thing is, you use the term bleaching gel. It is not
It's
bleaching.
not bleach.
It is not bleaching. I've heard some
whitening.
terrible stories of people trying to do things at home. It is not bleach. It's whitening
Do things
gel.
at home like what?
Try to do
Use
it on their
bleach
own or
to
whatever.
whiten their teeth.
It's not
not
bleaching.
try that at
No.
home.
It's whitening.
Different ingredients.
Right. Actually, it's a prescription type of chemical that's used in most of the whitening, and it comes the way we get it comes in different concentrations, anywhere from say 10% up to 30%. So it stick with the professional whitening gels when you
Well,
do
do
something
you,
like that.
what about the baking soda toothpaste?
Baking soda toothpaste is fine. The Arm & Hammer brand.
Yeah.
I think that's what you like to use, isn't
That's
it?
my
Yeah.
favorite.
But,
Really? Why? Tell us
I
why.
think, also too, a lot of the peroxide in baking soda, the peroxide in that toothpaste is similar to the chemical that we use for whitening, but it's at a very low dose. So if you used it every day over a long period of time, you would see a little bit of whitening go on there, which is better than just using regular toothpaste and you don't get any whitening. So I like that.
And that toothpaste also has like a little bubbling feeling when you're
Right.
using it, so I think that's why you like
Right,
it.
and it brings oxygen to the tissue to keep it healthy. I think that's it.
Really?
Yeah,
But
it foams up a lot when you use it.
do not put baking soda on your toothbrush, peroxide on your toothbrush and brush with it. Peroxide is for external use only.
Right.
Okay, it says so on the bottle. And baking soda is very, very abrasive. When it's in a toothpaste, it's in the correct amount, so it's distributed evenly. Whereas with baking soda, you apply that to your teeth and you brush with it. Yeah, your teeth may feel fresh, they may feel smooth, and they may look whiter. That's because you're rubbing the outer layer of enamel off of your teeth.
It's kind of like using a mild sandpaper. You can feel the baking soda can feel kind of gritty, and that's too much. But like Dr. Blake said, in the toothpaste, it's in the proper concentration and in the fineness of the powder, so it's not an abrasive grit that would cause damage. But I like baking soda and peroxide toothpaste. That's my favorite.
What about you?
I use Crest Pro Health usually, but that's
You
because
brought
we have
me some toothpaste a few months ago, and I loved that Optic.
Oh yeah,
the
The
Optic
Cook-
White.
Optic White. Yeah,
Right, that's a Crest.
I use. I'm not gonna lie. I use whatever we get at the office.
Because
I
it's
know.
free.
Because my thing about toothpaste and toothbrushes is, especially with toothpaste, there's 3 main ingredients in all toothpaste. I tell this to patients all the time. They always ask me what toothpaste to use. Triclosan to kill bacteria, which you've heard a lot of controversy about. It's in all the hand sanitizers, and they don't want people to have them in the hand sanitizers. But you need it to kill off some of this bacteria that cause cavities and gum disease. So triclosan, an abrasive, which rubs particles off of your teeth, and fluoride. Those are the 3 important ingredients. If your toothpaste has those 3 ingredients, then you're good to go. I'm not really concerned about all the other ones. I'm not sure if they even do what they say they're supposed to do. Some of these whitening ones do have a whitening effect, but not for everybody.
And sometimes it's so mild you wouldn't even notice it. So
Right.
if you're really interested in whitening your teeth, the professional cleaning. Also, too, when you try to whiten your teeth, if you want to do that, the first thing you have to do is get your teeth clean. You have to remove those coffee stains, those tobacco stains, those tea stains, that plaque and that tartar. Otherwise, you can whiten all day long. It's not going to work because there's a layer of material on the enamel that prevents the whitening from penetrating the enamel. So you got to get that enamel clean first. Then you can go right into your whitening. You're going to get a good result. And I've had patients over the years, and they just love whitening. As a matter of fact, I have to cut them off. You can't get any more whitening because they whiten their teeth so much, and they just like that appearance. But we tell them when to stop. 'Cause sometimes people really just like that. They like that effect. They like the look. But
too much whitening can damage the enamel of your teeth. And
we're talking about
go
extreme.
overboard,
Yeah,
if
we're
you
talking
go
about
overboard,
extreme.
and cause the enamel of your teeth to start to look translucent, kind of see-through.
But
So,
that would
that's
take
extreme.
Yeah, and that would take like a year of constant whitening, which nobody would do or should do. So it's not.
You know, people get attached to doing things.
Right, that's what I tell people. Can you get any more of that gel? And I was like, nope, we can't. Your teeth are white enough. No, we're all out. Can't
Oh, we
any
have
more.
a call. Let's
Sure.
take one more call. Good morning. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My question to the both dentists is what's the newer material for partials now? I know back in the day it was like porcelain and different stuff like that. I don't know, is there like a plastic or something out now that where partials won't break so easily?
Oh, that's an excellent question. I just had this discussion with a patient yesterday. And if you have a partial or know about partials, you're familiar with the fact that they used to be made out of a hard acrylic, and they still are, a hard acrylic, and then the teeth are made out of a tooth acrylic, which is a hard plastic. We don't use porcelain anymore because porcelain is too hard on your natural teeth, and it can wear down the opposing natural teeth over time. So we go with a tooth-colored acrylic that is kinder to the opposing teeth. Now, we also, the newest partials that we use, and we've been doing these for about 10 years, and this is the majority type of partials, we use these and they don't have wires that show. They're not visible. Now, I do put a metal framework on the inside, makes it stronger and lasts longer, but these partials are lightweight, and these type of partials are called, they have different brand names. So that one there is what's called a Valplast or a hybrid partial is what we use, and patients love those because they're virtually invisible in the mouth.
What about the ones
And they're-
with that you don't have the wire?
We can do it like that too, but that's only in certain cases. You have to have more teeth to support it because it would flex too much.
Oh, okay.
And that's why we put like on a free end like we have here, we would put a framework so it doesn't bend too much. So that and these partials here with the new material, the acrylic, the flexible acrylic, those are unbreakable. I mean, if you stepped on it, it might break. But
Or run it over with your car.
yeah, run it over
Let
with
your
your car.
dog eat it.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
but other than that, as opposed to the older type partials, these don't crack or warp or anything like that.
Yeah, that was a great question.
Yeah, it's an
well,
excellent
if
question.
somebody's in the office right now, right?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Why don't you give your number?
We're located at 13724 Woodward Avenue, 2 blocks north of the Davison in Highland Park. Our phone number is 313-883-3050, and our website is www.livingstondentistry.com.
Yes, and you all know everything about this.
Well, like I said, he's new school. I'm old school. So you get a combination of all of the newest technology, and then you also get the old school 34-year practicing dentist. So we've seen some of everything. So
I know. And also I've seen some of the repair work that you've done on people who have had, because in accidents and stuff, people
Right.
get their teeth knocked out.
right. We have a few insurance cases going right now where people have been in auto accidents and that type of thing, and their insurance companies refer them to us, and we take care of those also.
Well, as usual, thank you all for coming.
Well, thank you for having us.
I mean,
Another great show.
oh man, I learn something every time. I think I know everything because of you all.
Well, we can maybe come in and put a jacket on you and no, sit you in the front.
Yeah, sit me in the front greeting people.
Yeah, there you go.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we have Sadrina Davis on next, and we're going to talk about renewal.